Hey guys, welcome to another video from Overbite Gaming, and today I come with a review of a new game. In fact, yes, today I'm going to be talking about Warhammer 40,000 Chaos Gate Daemonhunters. That's a long old title, but there we go. This was very kindly provided to me by one of my friends, Jason, so you get a shout out for that. As I am still unfortunately saving for my wedding. Well, not unfortunately, but it does sort of preclude me from putting money into other things. I've only got till September, so, well, July. July I need to make the payment, so there you go. I can start buying things myself after that. Anyway, guys, so Chaos Gate Daemonhunters is obviously a game set in the Warhammer 40k universe where you play as the Grey Knights. I am not particularly au fait with the Grey Knights. I am an Ultramarines player, and I rarely play the game. I haven't played it in years. So I'm more just like collecting armies and painting. I have sort of wound down on buying stuff due to Games Workshop's questionable business practices of late. So there's that. But I do enjoy the setting. I do enjoy the setting as long as they don't screw it up too badly, I suppose. But yes, the Grey Knights are a chapter of Space Marines who seem... This is coming from, as I say, someone that doesn't know a whole bunch about Grey Knights, but they seem to like all have psionic powers and use a lot of force weaponry and can augment themselves with their psi powers, which is nice. They also use a lot of very strange weapons that I'm not familiar with. So the game itself is pretty much XCOM with a Warhammer 40k paint job. It does have some features which set it apart a little bit, but it's also not as polished. And there's a few features missing that you might expect from an XCOM equivalent game. So you are basically set in this sector of the galaxy where there is a chaos bloom happening. The very start of the game, an Inquisitor comes on board and she tells you that something's happening and you need to go investigate, and your investigations go on and you do missions and stuff like that. Every so often you'll get a message come up and say you've got 3 missions available, and because you've got a timed amount to get to each mission, and depending on the upgrade of your ship you might not only be able to get to 1, for instance, and the other 2 will go off. Each planet has, I think, up to 5 instances of you being able to miss it, and basically the infection growing stronger. I've never had one go over, so I couldn't say what that is. I've had one go close, but I turned up and twatted it as a priority, so I couldn't really say what happens. Something bad, I would imagine, probably locks off that planet or something like that. The ship is upgradable. You do it via servitors. Now, if you don't know what servitors are, they are basically people that have been melded with machines to do really mundane jobs. Like, you have yourselves cut down and put in a little tiny machine and it opens doors for people. You think your life is bad. Wow. Jesus. That's got to be like the worst job ever. So you can generate these. Make sure you research that quick, though. Otherwise you'll be dependent on mission rewards to get servitors. So you want to do those, and that will generate a servitor every so days, and you can upgrade that as well. And you can also upgrade the guns, the void shields, which give you various benefits and perks. The engines, which obviously allow you to get around a bit quicker. Stuff like that. There is an overarching storyline. You'll be facing Nurgle. So Nurgle are the big gloppy ones with all the diseases. I just described myself. Oh well. And it does play very much like XCOM in that you can like move, or you can sprint, or you can move and then fire, or you can fire, I think, a couple of times actually. So slightly different. There's also environmental stuff, so like exploding sort of ammo piles that you can blow up and take people out with. There's a cover system that's really reminiscent of XCOM. So you got the half cover and the full cover. And one of the interesting things done is there's like lots of pillars in the game, and you can sort of run into them with your big hulking Space Marine and smash them down and actually sort of aim where it goes. So you can drop pillars on people, which is quite a nice touch. It does feel a little bit... just there to have it, sort of like that's a cool idea. I like seeing big Space Marines thump into things. As you finish missions, you will get Access to the armory, and be able to requisition. You can requisition more squad members. I think it's a maximum of 12, which you can upgrade. And you will get given weapons and special weapons like grenades or like totems, like sensors and stuff like that. That give you various benefits. Obviously, the weapons do more or less damage, have benefits on them as well. You can upgrade the weaponry that you have. You can also get different sorts of armor that have different perks to them. There are two sorts of armor in the game overall. You've got the regular Space Marine armor. I think it's Mark. I think it's Mark 7. Is it Mark 7 or is it Mark 8? I can't remember. No, I can't remember. They have their own helm, so it's kind of difficult to tell. Because normally you have like the piggy one is one of the newer ones. I think there is a newer one past that, which I'm not particularly aware of, but there we go. Because, yeah, 6 was the beaky ones. That was the ones I grew up with, and then you had the pig face ones. Anyway, I'm getting slightly sidetracked. So you have those, and you also have Terminator armor. Again, they look slightly different because they're Grey Knight Terminator armor, so they have the Grey Knight head. You can customize your squad members, so you can change seals and look at the chest plates and their greaves and their shoulder pads. You can take the helmet off and have different faces, different hair colors, and different sort of bionics attached to the faces and stuff like that. So that's very nice. That's very XCOM. You can't sort of add parts to your weapons, which is something that I'm not sure I would have expected it, but it's something XCOM does that this doesn't. So you can't do that. You can also research, and this is done on your ship via the Inquisitor, and this can unlock different abilities. Like there's a mechanic in the game called the Warp Bloom. So as you're going through a mission, it will fill up a meter, and you can actually hasten that by using your psi powers. It aggravates it, and when that fills up, it will trigger, and then you'll usually get a debuff like -1 hit point for everybody in your team, or -1 willpower points. While I'm on the subject of what you use to bolster your psi stuff, so you can add damage. So if you're shooting a guy and he's like 1 point off being dead, and you really need him dead, you can use a willpower point and shoot him extra hard with your mind, and it kill him, and that's great. There's Overwatch in there as well. I'm flitting about a bit. I know there's just quite a lot to talk about. It's done slightly differently from XCOM, that you don't just Overwatch. You actually have to set a field of fire, so you have to strategically place it where people are going to run through. A lot of the weapons are unknown. Like you've got a silencer, PSI Lenser. Never heard of it. Don't run Grey Knights. Don't know. It's kind of like a Gatling gun, but I guess for the mind. You do have Storm Bolters, which are your regular armament, and they're the sort of gauntlet equipped ones that you see on a lot of captains and shit like that. So I'm familiar with those. Those are just double-barreled bolters, so that's fine. I haven't come across sort of outside of that too many weapons that I'm actually familiar with. So no like heavy bolters and shit like that yet. I haven't finished it, I will be honest, because it's not entirely easy at all. It is a strategy game, and much like XCOM, you can really get screwed. You start off with, so you go out with a squad of 4. If they get injured, then they will have time to recover. If they get severely injured, they lose a resilience point. Once they've lost resilience points, they can't fight anymore. They need to be shipped off home. And you get requisition for that in order for you to try and get another one in to replace him. It's not too much of an issue. You do have the opportunity to get like an extra night after every missions, and you will quickly fill it up if you do that. So not too bad at all. It looks pretty nice overall. It's not sort of anything that's going to blow your socks off, but it looks nice. It's accurate to the theme. It does have a unique art style that may turn some people off, though. It's a bit more cartoony than you would expect from the grim dark of 40k. There is a certain, I almost want to say like Fortnite or Overwatch to it, that sort of stylistic choices. The ships look fine, they look exactly like you would think, but like the faces are a bit in that style, shall we say. The animations of the faces are generally fine. It's hard to describe when they're talking, certain characters anyway. Ektar, who is like your mentor from the Grey Knights, when he talks, it's almost like his face is like a piece of cloth and someone's talking under it and the cloth's just wibbling. It's hard to describe until you witness it, but yeah, it's like a wibbling cloth. It's a bit weird, but it's very minor. There are lots and lots of melee weapons, actually. So the Grey Knights apparently like their melee. They have swords and they have twin falchions, clubs, or staves I should say, hammers, glaives, or halberds, or whatever they fucking are nowadays, I don't know. But yeah, it's a good game. There's a lot of challenge to it. You will get boned a lot of the time. Sometimes I'll do something and I expect the game to do something else and it doesn't, and I'm like, oh shit, now I'm boned. The interface isn't that great, if I'm honest. For some reason, when you move, you click where you want to move with left mouse, which is just blowing my mind because I'm always expecting right mouse. And then you have to click it again to actually get him to go there, or click the button down the bottom of the screen. I know why they do it. They do it because you can set waypoints, which makes it handy for going around like Overwatch cones and stuff like that. But surely there's a more intuitive way of doing that. It's just like an extra click for pretty much no reason. It's just like, let me hold down control or something if I want to put a waypoint, rather than having to click the damn thing twice when I don't. It's just a bit strange. It will put up the sort of melee sign, regardless of whether you're clicking on next to the bad guy or on the bad guy. It's probably just me being inattentive, but I've run up and just stood next to the bad guy and ended my turn before, rather than, you know, sticking a knife in him. Which, you know, it's a thing. It doesn't happen very often, but I have managed to do it, so... The grenades are pretty good. They don't do a whole bunch of damage, but they do a lot of knockback. And I've killed people by knocking them off of platforms and stuff into the murk below, which is nice. It does give you like the field of the explosion, so you can be quite accurate with them and avoid your guys. It will also do the same for any explosive barrels and stuff, so you can be sure you're not going to blow yourself up. Although I've still managed to blow myself up. When you do throw a grenade, you get a little cutscene go on where it sort of zooms in on the Marine and he lobs it and it goes there in like slow motion, and you know, there's a few bits like that which are kind of nice. Melee is quite good in the fact that there's a bit more depth to it than you'd expect. It's not just necessarily either up and bonk him, so to speak. Because when you will get the opportunity to do different things in the melee. I think it's class-based, but don't quote me on that. So you get up and you could say, disable melee weapon. You're like, oh, well, that would be handy. He's only got a melee weapon. And it's more handy than you know, because you generally cut their arm off when you do that. There's one to deal more stun damage. You can disable range weapons, which is the same deal. And if he's stunned and you go up, you can execute him straight away. So if he's a big tanky guy that you've managed to stun, you just take him out, which is a nice touch. I like the fact that that they thought to incorporate that rather than just saying, okay, you just go up and in for this amount of damage, that's fine, good. So they've actually done a bit more than I would have expected in that respect. The bad guys all blow apart in quite a nice way. They do tend to blow apart in a very similar fashion. So if you shoot one guy, if like a Chaos Cultist gunner or whatever, he will blow apart exactly the same as every other Chaos Cultist gunner, but yeah, whatever. There are some additional animations for melee, like the execution with the stave is pretty good, where you sort of bang it into the ground, electrify him up into the air, and then he explodes. Exploding people is always good in a game. I just don't really care what anyone has to say about that. It's just a fact. But there you go. I have no idea how long I've gone on for, but it is a game I'm tremendously enjoying, not just because it was free. Although 3 games are the best games, obviously. It does. It does kind of make me want to play 40k again, and maybe have a look at the Grey Knights. But they're just, for me, they're less interesting because you've got like 4 classes of them, but they seem to be very. It's like, I have a Stormbolter and a melee weapon. Oh, I have a Stormbolter and a melee weapon. Oh, I have a Stormbolter and a melee weapon. I know you get like ones that you can just give like two-handed guns to, like the silencer, and you can just bonk them with the stock. But they do seem quite, if not for the choices between regular power armor and Terminator armor, and the various perk-based ones you can get as requisitions, then it will be slightly less interesting, and obviously the different variants of the Stormbolter that you can get as well. There are also some interesting parts on the missions where you can go in with an extra objective. That might be, for instance, don't spend any willpower this mission, or kill 30 people in melee, or something like that, and that'll give you extra requisition points to spend at the end of the mission by getting more equipment or Grey Knights or other stuff. So, it's good, it's varied. You will be there are storyline missions that come up that you need to progress, obviously, but most of them don't seem to have a timer. You can just go around, do the missions that come up, and beef yourself up, get some better armor, unlock more levels to the armory, so you get better weapons with the requisitions, stuff like that. But yeah, I'm having an absolute blast with it. All the Space Marines are chunky boys that thunk around. It's like when you move them up the field and you're not looking at them, you can hear them coming, I'll tell you. Bloody hell. But yeah, I mean, it's £35 on Steam right now. So it's mostly positive. And it's developed by Complex Games and published by Frontier Foundry. And I think I said $34.99 is the price. Although there is a Castellan Champion Edition, which will run you $44.99. But you can upgrade that separately for £12.99 if you wish to. I've got no idea what that incorporates. Let's see if I can find out. I cannot. Why? Here we go. Okay, so your Castellan Champion upgrade pack includes the unique playable character Castellan Garen Crow and the Warhammer 40k Chaos Gate original soundtrack. Wow, okay, that doesn't sound so good. So it's $12.99 for one unique character and the soundtrack. Yeah, that's on the pricey side if you ask me. Yeah, I probably wouldn't do that. Not unless they bundle it or discount it. That's a bit shit, really. Anyway, guys, that's my thoughts on Warhammer 40,000 Chaos Gate Daemonhunters. Wait, I never know how to pronounce that. Whatever. It's good. It's £35, so it's sort of double A prices. I would recommend it. If you liked XCOM and you like 40k, I don't see any reason you wouldn't like this. Especially if you're a Grey Knights player, you'll probably fucking love this. Just give my Ultramarines bitches. That's what I want. Anyway, guys, that's all for this week. Take it easy, and I'll catch you next time.